In June 2016, the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers brought the city its first title in more than half a century. Taking part in the festivities was a familiar face.
So what we have to do is pass the torch. We have to bridge the gap between 1964 and 2016.
When Jim Brown handed the Larry O'Brien Trophy over to LeBron James, it was one of the best sports moments in Cleveland history. I don't think there were too many dry eyes at that parade, and of course there were 1.3 million people there.
Cleveland's last championship team rose from one of the most shocking firings in NFL history.
I have a simple statement. Paul Brown will no longer serve in the capacities of head coach and general manager.
After the 1962 season, Art Modell bought the team. Before that, Paul Brown was coach, general manager, and may as well have been owner. I mean, he ran the whole thing. Paul Brown had become so rigid at the end that they just needed a different voice.
I admired Paul, and I listened to him until I thought he had gotten too conservative. There was a difference in our relationship because of that.
In his first season without Paul Brown, Jim Brown thrived, setting an NFL single-season rushing record with 1,863 yards. That greatness was on display from the start of the '64 season, with the Browns winning 8 of their first 10 games. The season culminated in the 1964 NFL championship game against the Baltimore Colts.
They had, 7 or 8 Hall of Famers on that ball club. But the advantage is we got them at home. Jim and I, just before we got ready to leave, in comes the Colt Corral. They come as close as you and I are right now, and they play taps. They play taps with us sitting there, right in our face. We didn't say a word. Just before the game, he said, we're going to kick the hell out of them today.
Now the game is in the hands of the men. Men like Jim Brown, the greatest running back of all time.
Almost everybody in the country all picked the Colts to win, and the score was tied 0-0 at the half. And then Brown reeled off a 40-yard run to get things moving.
The championship game was a great game because it was a team victory.
Final score, Cleveland 27, Baltimore nothing. And the Cleveland Browns are world champions.
The 1964 team was so vitally important to the fabric of Cleveland because it endured for so long. You know, to have that stand as the last championship for generations and generations of people, it was just held in highest regard and highest esteem.